BBC viewers and listeners will have woken up to some differences in their schedule as staff walked out on their second one-day strike over job losses. The National Union of Journalists, who called this strike, have been unable to broker a deal with the BBC over the proposed changes. Staff here are angry at a spate of compulsory redundancies that have been announced by management, as well as accusations that union members facing redundancy are being treated differently to others. The National Union of Journalists offered to bring in a third-party conciliation service to help resolve the dispute, but this offer was turned down. Workers are upset that staff could lose their jobs instead of being redeployed elsewhere in the company.
In the course of June, it advertised nearly 1,000 vacancies in various parts of the corporation up and down the country. And yet, despite the fact that hundreds of our members have been told they're at risk of redundancy, only 17 were redeployed to those vacancies. In fact, the BBC in that month employed more people from outside the corporation than it employed from inside the corporation, internal appointments.
The BBC has found itself in difficulty after a deal was made to freeze the licence fee which funds the corporation, and government grants to stations such as the World Service were cut. As a result, it claims that it's had no choice but to close a number of jobs, 100 of which have been compulsory. It was reported that a Conservative government plan to top-slice the BBC licence fee, whereby a proportion would be redistributed among other broadcasters, was dropped after it was disapproved of by B-Sky B chairman James Murdoch. This closeness between government and the Murdoch empire has angered the NUJ, especially after reportedly encroaching on BBC funding plans.
I think it's quite clear that there's been an unholy alliance between the Tory government and between News International, and that emasculating the BBC has been pretty high on that agenda. That's why the NUJ is calling for that licence fee settlement to be revisited.
In a statement, the BBC said,
"We are disappointed that the NUJ has gone ahead with today's strike and apologise to our audience for any disruption to services. Industrial action does not alter the fact that the BBC is faced with a number of potential compulsory redundancies following significant cuts to the central government grants that support the World Service and BBC monitoring."
But staff believe that further action can easily be averted. The strike is due to end at midnight. Steve McCall, Press TV, London.